This is a player that would be willing to pick it up. He loves to get greedy in the top lane and win the lane anyway.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too surprised, although we are on the blue side here.
All right. Well, what I can do is I can hope that there's no Tom here. Aurelia gonna
What
be
if they ban it? Is that better?
No. That would mean that
Okay,
you're not
sorry.
aware of how much it can be abused.
True.
Lucian gonna now be banned away by DragonX. I'm not on the Lucian hype train. I'm not personally on it. But Lee Sin now gonna be banned away by DAMWON.
DAMWON Whitey. Hashtag DAMWON win.
You know, I recently used hashtags for the very first time on Twitter. The other day.
I saw you
in the
hashtag NFL. Hashtag NHL. Like.
I had to tag BTS. I needed some assistance.
True. That actually worked.
It did.
Oh.
Yeah. So
You had some good strategies.
thanks.
I was impressed.
All right, Rise now biting the bullet as DragonX ban it away. And Akali is going to be the last ban of DAMWON. Now, Syndra is still up and available. I know I've talked before during KeSPA Cupcast that in theory she's able to be flexed 5 roles. But
Yeah.
we are in Korea, so most likely only mid and AD. And she is honestly a monster right now, so okay. Turn the page.
Oh yes, here we are on the next page. Yeah, and it's interesting because Showmaker's a great Syndra player as well, and I believe that Nuclear can play it. I mean, everybody's kind of got to be able to play that thing, but when you ban the Syndra, it leaves MF open, which is kind of that obvious dominant lane pick towards the bottom side. There have been a lot of times where people said that Nuclear was the big weakness of DAMWON, so getting him on a strong pick to start off is definitely a good start, and we're seeing more and more Rumble coming in here as a first pick red side Rumble comes in. Really not messing around with that pick. A lot of these top teams really loving it so far, LS.
Yeah, Rumble, mid and top flex. Very rarely does he have options to actually go into the jungle. Varus being picked up as well. So DragonX not with too heavy of a commitment so far in the draft. This is what I'm personally a fan of. And now DAMWON. Hope they wouldn't do it. Hope they wouldn't sin like that.
How about Tim?
I'm not a very big fan. No.
Timothy? Oh, no.
All right. Well,
at least they didn't pick Tim.
DAMWON have now put themselves in a really weird spot. They chose 2 champions that must go into the opponents, must engage, and don't actually have a lot of scaling if the opponents draft against it well. Jarvan, really good jungle pick if they do lock it in here against these champions that DAMWON have selected. So this is already looking quite good for DragonX. Now we're going to head into the bans. They're going to knock away the Pike.
That is a Nuclear sign, by the way. And Nuggery's family came down again. That's a cute little raccoon there in the middle. Being held by a younger brother.
Well, DAMWON now deciding what they want to ban. It's going to be Thresh. Now, I think if you're DragonX here, you could actually hold support for counterpick and in theory go a mage. But don't hold your breath, Valdez.
Mage? What is
Don't hold your breath. Zyra is
Calm down, LS.
all right.
Plays Zyra. She's not tier 1.
the real 5-head picks here. Oh no, I see the Morgana ban, and with Thresh being banned away, it might signal a Leona
Yes.
could be coming.
Leona's great against the MF. From wherever she is, you have your ult to shut her down. Can provide a...
Not super great though against Kennen and Kiana.
True.
Highly mobile.
Yes.
And
Great at
Leona
engaging, but not so much at...
Right, doing the
handling
opposite
assassins.
of what you'd want. Now, DAMWON, interestingly, that's a good ban the Lissandra beats all three.
Oh, God. I love that confident auto lock, too. It's not even like they had to think about that. They're like, yes, Tom Kench is available. Oh, man, I can't wait.
Just get me out. Just take me away now.
Somebody call Achilles.
I'm going to need an ambulance. No, and they're going to handshake it with Nautilus.
I mean, isn't it smart, though, if you know that Korean teams will never pick a counter pick? If it's, like, so ingrained in the meta that, you know, maybe on paper, you can say, like, yeah, it's not a good idea, but if you know, like, okay, DAMWON's absolutely going to pick, like, Nautilus or Braum or something, you know, ridiculous like that.
And now they pick a Blanc. Okay, so can we Vygar one time?
I think you're asking for too much.
Can just Vygar here. Vygar would do no, that is not Vygar. Vygar would annihilate the enemy team.
No,
single-handedly, he would destroy them.
Nah.
I don't think I'm going to make it to 2020. Valdez.
We're going to need to get Medius over here to resuscitate LS.
I'm going to have to write my will.
Yeah, get on that right now.
Say it live during the cast.
Just leave me your magic collection. I'll take that.
All right. I got a couple of Lotuses.
Yeah, just a couple. Yeah, interesting. They bring in another AD into the top side. It's one that they knew who they were playing up against, by the way, in the top lane, in the Kennen. It's Nuggery's Kennen, and they're like, yes, Doran, a good Aatrox player, is going to come in here and handle the Kennen lane, and we will use Aatrox for the team fights, hopefully, as, you know, if you can get a big Cataclysm and Aatrox gets in there along with the Equalizer in a perfect world, maybe you can make a team fight happen in that manner with a safe bottom lane. But we'll see how that does go, as it looks like you guys have seen the drafts, and we are ready to hop into game number 1 right now. Caster Sung just passing over the ability for the DragonX side to do their cheer because they were too slow. And yeah, they don't have a cheerleader either. I suppose with some of the changes and the players being mixed around, new coaches, new teams, new sponsors, we got new fans and new fan chanters. And we really need to work on the fan chant. Hopefully they can get that done by LCK 2020, but DAMWON definitely won the fan chant war, at least.
I'm going to need a little bit more time. I'm trying to actually think who won this.
Okay.
This draft. This is one of those drafts where it really does feel 55-45 or something of that nature. It feels so close. And mostly I'm saying that just because what is required of both parties in a vacuum, I think is unrealistic. I think that there's so many different ways that the game can end up going with these kind of champions. Like, they can itemize differently depending on game flow, and that affects every individual breakpoint.
Yeah, but we know they're just gonna. We just know they're gonna build Morel and Omicron, so you can base your decisions on that.
I think realistically, DragonX have the better team composition, but it doesn't mean that DAMWON won't win. it's very, very, very thin. But I would give the edge to DragonX.
Okay. It is going to come down to gameplay, as always. And speaking of which, Pyosik did go over a ward, so they know he is up here. And vertical jungling is in effect. Notice that Qiyana staying down on the bottom side will potentially go over to the enemy blue, as the ward is no longer there to spot the Jarvan. But they should know that he was up there for quite a while.
Coin Emperor Tom Kench, by the way, for Keria. You can see that he's a bit of an intellectual.
Oh, nice. Dredge line there, trying to get on top of Deft, who is going to flash away, but the Ignite ticking down. One more auto might do it, but they're not going to get in range. As Keria and Deft are going to escape the exhaust, heal, and flash, all burned on the escape. But more summoners actually on the opposite side, 4 total. For DAMWON attempting to pick up that kill.
Yeah, and now Keria and Pyosik both here. They have Tahm Kench Devour if they would have needed it for anything with the Crab. Chovy utilizing priority right now. In mid, comes over, plants a ward, just seeing where Canyon would be going. Now, they know that he has 12 CS, so here's the thing. He's going to recall. They can track the 10 seconds that he needs to regen all of his HP and mana, and then the amount of time that it takes him to get over to the Wolf Camp. Everyone on DragonX right now has map hacks until about 450. So, laners are all completely fine. Pyosik is able to just clear bottom to top, and Chovy is doing completely fine in mid lane. Also, actually, I hadn't noticed before the barrier on Chovy. I thought that he had teleport. This actually makes it a lot better for DragonX also in the mid and late game. Barrier will help him scale better than a teleport would, just because of the nature of both team comps. You're never 1-3-1ing or splitting or anything of that sort, so no. Barrier's just going to do a lot more. Canyon looking to sin, though. He's foregoing his camps and just running around trying to do something, but Qiyana is not a low econ jungler. And personally, I think that she got hit really hard with the preseason changes because XP, less gold. Now, she does have really good components on recalls. She just gets longswords over and over and over and over because all that she does is build lethality items. But she's missing base levels. She is still having less gold to work with. She doesn't function as well in a low econ game as, say, Jarvan, who all he needs to do is EQ and R, and I mean, his job is done. It doesn't matter if he's dealing damage or not.
We saw that from Haru, actually, the time that he was playing. Went in there and died a bunch of times, but got a bunch of good cataclysms, and doesn't even really need to survive as long as he sets it up for his team. So, I mean, he's going to get off to a good start, but more importantly, Qiyana is going to get off to a very slow start here. Only level 4, and looking to catch up about 2 camps behind the Jarvan, as Pyosik, speaking of which, is looking to head down towards the bottom lane here, looking for a gank. Doesn't look like that one minion spotted him. And then just says, nah.
Well, I mean, it lines up pretty well. The Gromp had just ended up respawning, so if an opportunity did arrive, then he would have been able to capitalize on it. That's a really nice equalizer by Chovy. He doesn't need it for anything. There's no roams. There's no onus on him to try to make anything happen in coming moments, so the cooldown is so short. He gets dual pressure, takes all of Showmaker's HP, gets the wave. Showmaker now finally going to get to recall.
Yeah, first items here for the side of Chovy are cloth armor and merc treads. Yep. So the merc treads, self-explanatory against any LeBlanc lane. Pretty much everyone will take it. But also getting that cloth armor early on here. And for people watching, mobility is an offensive and defensive stat, obviously. Rumble has such nice base damages, he doesn't really need power items, especially not in mid lane. Such close proximity and safety overall inside of the lane. He's going to be just fine. Lost chapter completed for Showmaker on this LeBlanc. And Canyon, I mean, he has Blue Smite, he has Predator, but only level 4.
Pioshik already level 5, finishing up on the golems.
6.
And yeah, he's level 6 now. And Canyon just dinged level 5. And this is going to be another problem as well. Kiana not as good as Jarvan at doing things.
Canyon getting in there, has to dash over the wall. What? Doesn't have his flash yet, and that's going to be first blood.
Hello?
He was looking for action, and Nuggery's even going to get baited into that. Has to flash out of the Infernal Chains just to survive. And a big win already going the way of DragonX.
So at this stage of the game, this is sort of what I was talking about earlier on, where there's so many things that can happen in the early stages that would probably just compound with one another. And even though the bottom lane of Nuclear and Beryl got the advantage early on, they're not really achieving too much. LeBlanc's going even against Rumble. But the jungler gap is so large right now, and Kennon's not getting a lead, that even though the gold advantage for DragonX is only 500, they're actually so far ahead in terms of what is and isn't going to be possible by DAMWON, because this Kiana is never getting online. They're going to be playing a 4v5. She needed to get stuff going early on, or she's just sort of out of the game. It's like a weird version of Shaco, in a way.
I remember that champion.
You do? Yeah?
Yeah.
I actually think he's pretty okay support.
Okay.
He is okay support.
AP?
But listen, Curry has never touched him.
No.
All right, if his name isn't Braum, Nautilus, or Tom, okay, we don't even go there.
Hey, we get Leona every once in a while.
And sometimes.
That's it.
Maybe when the sun's shining.
That's it, though.
Yeah.
That's where it ends. That's where the list is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a kind of strange maneuver by Canyon. I guess he was not expecting Pioshik to be there ever. And so he was scanning for a ward and looking for a potential dive in the top side, but Doran had flash, whereas Canyon did not.
Canyon is struggling here.
You can't kill Agatha over here.
Oh, okay.
Nah, he's gonna get
Yeah,
that.
he got it. So he just dinged level 6. Pioshik is already into 7 while doing the golems. And remember, I talked about this in the previous series. For those that might not be keeping super up with some preseason changes.
Nuggery, no flash. We got
Pioshik,
Pioshik, he's got his Cataclysm. This Nuggery is so dead! Up in the top side, baited into a fight with Doran after spotting him. And the second you have no flash and Jarvan is anywhere near you with Cataclysm, by the way, didn't even have to flash himself.
Yeah, he didn't even need it.
Easy kill. Just nicely played by Doran to find him and go for that kind of a roam into the enemy jungle and set it up. And DAMWON already kind of falling apart. DragonX looking good.
Well, Canyon's going to get the Scuttle Crab. He's going to start the Cloud Dragon. But really, the game is just sort of running away from DAMWON. And it's a byproduct of DAMWON. They don't have a jungle. They don't have a jungle champion. Their LeBlanc is neutralized due to the dynamics of the lane matchup. They have a Kennen that's falling behind. Kennen's a terrible champion, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there for you, Valdez. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that one from you before.
He did get a little bit of aid, though, with the Conqueror change, but still. Doran, yeah, Jarvan didn't even need to use his flash.
He lightning rushed into the Aatrox by accident. He just never expected him to be there, which is why I gave credit to Doran for just setting it up and being in an unexpected spot to try to potentially set up another kill, because he knows that you talked about neutralizing lanes. They're not really going to be able to group on the Rumble. The bottom side is just, it's been boring the whole game. And so maybe Canyon would return to the top side, or Nuggery might look to put down Vision to stop a dive. And that's exactly where Doran went, to try to shut that down, both cases. And that's why I feel like his positioning was top-notch.
Well, I mean, so far everything's been going really good. Pioshik has been really on point so far this game, and all the lanes for DragonX have been very stable. Deft and Kyria doing completely fine, especially after the early game start. Pioshik down here now in bottom lane, not going to be able to actually, I don't know what they're even thinking about.
Okay, big engage, double knock up, Kyria. See you later, buddy. And he's going in. Pioshik is a man on a mission. Might be a dead man now, though, as Biosik is going to get inside there, and he's going to get away. But Toby is going to get baited by the stopwatch, and Death is not done yet. He's going 1v3. He's going to try to take down Showmaker after getting that double kill. But Showmaker thinks better of it and will back away. What? By the way, in the top lane, Nuguri baited into a fight, and Doran makes quick work of him, now 2-0-1 on the Aatrox.
I mean, Doran is he's living up to his Elite 3 status now. Yeah. That Khan is gone. He has entered into the Elite 4 in terms of LCK top laners. And, I mean, he's doing absolutely fantastic. He was given a slight lead. Yeah, this bottom play makes no sense. Well, so they want to summon the Herald, and I guess they don't anticipate that Canyon's already here. But you can see that even before Canyon was here, stuff was a little bit dicey. They were doing this mostly to get 240 gold worth of plates, because they were trying to synergize it with the bot wave crash. Now, Chovy and Showmaker both able to be here. Equalizer came out, Def said, "It's my time." Went over, and Varus just getting so much action. Nuguri failing to crash this wave onto Doran. Doran, who has flash available, Nuguri, who doesn't. Doran doesn't even need it, though.
It's Nuguri down a level trying to trade with an Aatrox.
Oh, he looks very, I mean, that just looks tilted. I don't know.
Yeah, he should never be in that position. Just overestimating his escapability, but you got to be careful up against an Aatrox that has flash, as you mentioned. When you don't, like, so, the play didn't even have to be that clean, and Aatrox still could have gotten the kill.
In game number 2, hopefully DAMWON don't draft something that is so conditional on high variance, almost, the early game. Like, the Kiana has to get ahead. I likened her earlier on to Shaco. And obviously, with the LeBlanc, there is definitely things you can do in this bottom lane. The Misfortune and the Nautilus, things can happen. But it's very bizarre to do this in the opening game, and they're being punished for it in game number 1. It's obviously a lot easier to pilot DragonX's comp, especially from this stage where everything is just going their way. And looks like Jarvan is actually going into the tank. Maybe he'll just go stopwatch. We'll see if he picks up a Negatron Cloak as his next item to go Stone Plate.
That's definitely a question. But Pyosik is doing a great job of just mirroring exactly where this Kiana is.
In between the breakout, I was actually having a conversation with Nemesis about the Dragon Souls.
Okay. And
he told me that he thought that Mountain was actually the worst. Well, I told him Mountain is really good because teams right now pick... Well, hold on.
Yeah, we got some action here. Beryl taking a lot of damage. There's the equalizer. Perfect positioning. Beryl trying to escape and engage at the same time. Big knockup from the combo of Kiana and the MF. Nuguri coming in here, stuns 3 of them and takes out 2. But will he survive? No, he will not, but he sets up the play for his team. Showmaker gonna miss the change. That is so unfortunate.
Doran!
And now Doran is just a monster. Look at this guy. As, well, Canyon is going to say goodbye to Chovy. But can he get the kill onto LeBlanc is the question here for Doran. Miss? Will we have a strike? Nope, gonna be denied. And there we go. Finally comes in as the dash will net Doran another kill. On top of it all, a messy fight, but a fun one indeed.
And so we're going to take a quick look at this replay. So it starts off with the Varus chain. Tim could not get onto Beryl as clean as he would have liked. Equalizer comes in, but you can see Jarvan didn't want to commit underneath the turret. Canyon had a really nice angle to get that ultimate. Pyosik tries to go for the EQ, but I think he just cast it really quick. It didn't even go that far, but he knows that Showmaker was on the way. And then DAMWON, they were just able to turn this, but then Doran, with the hero turnaround onto Nuclear, gets the reset on Aatrox. Initially turns around to look at Canyon before going back to Showmaker. But a second ago, I was mentioning Mountain Dragons because I feel like we're going to get one here, Mountain Dragon Soul. And the only instance where Mountain Drake, yeah, there it is, Mountain Soul, is when... when pro teams pick center team compositions that hard dive in and have assassins and low econ champs, Mountain's really good against that. You get the resistances, and then you get the shield, and then they just feel really, really, really bad. But I think that's the only argument between Mountain and Cloud. Are we going to get an Infernal Soul tonight, Valdez, or what?
Yeah. Survey says no. I'm sure you read the script as well, just to understand that it's not going to happen. We don't get to have those flashy ones, just the defensive ones. Although I suppose Cloud is supposed to be alongside Infernal as more of a playmaking dragon, an offensive one. As, okay, this is interesting. I knew I didn't have to play-by-play it because that's just never going to work against a LeBlanc.
In a spot like this, items like Wit's End become so much better if you're a DragonX fan. If you get 3 Mountain Dragons, and you go Wit's End on Varus, you get Seekers, Armguard into Zanya's on Rumble, you can even get Banshee's Veil, you get Stoneplate on Jarvan, you get Maw of Malmortius on Atrox, so many things. And if you can get all of those dragons, get the Mountain Soul, you just laugh at DAMWON's team composition. There is nothing that it's going to be able to do.
Yeah, it is true. And it was kind of funny. Oh, I'm going to hold that thought as Varus is getting TP'd on here. Deft with flash and heal, though. Doesn't seem to be in any danger. Is going to get away, and that teleport is not going to pay off for Showmaker. All right, POC. All right. He had a good early game, but after that, yeah, okay, everything's going wide tonight. Swing and a miss. A bunch of times in a row. We're almost on strike 3. Perhaps we could get it here. Spiosic trying to engage now onto Showmaker, but a simple extra distortion and a little pat on the back there from Showmaker is going to be strike 3.
Barrel actually, oh man.
Oh, Barrel. It's a big slow from the tongue.
Oh.
And the exhaust, they're really committing to this. And yeah, they did not even get close. It's about 4 plays in a row now that have been head scratchers.
I gotta point out to you, Valdez, by the way, we have 16 total kills in 19 minutes in an LCK game. This is not all that common. Yeah, it's not
No.
How
did that even happen? We had like a couple of big fights in the bottom side, I suppose.
Kennon's death, Canyon's death. That's 3. And then we had, yeah, we had the fights down in bottom. 2 big fights in the bottom that were really at the trade back in order to flash the wall. Yep.
And then the second one where Doran turned it around and picked up 2 kills at the very end of it. That is a massive Aatrox, by the way. 5-0. Seems like Doran, I know he had a early start on the cannon, but as I mentioned in the draft, this was picked into the cannon, and Doran seems very comfortable in this matchup.
Ooh.
I just had to do a quick Gaster Curse, you know, to give Nuggery a chance, but at the end of the day, Doran's still going to be dominating that lane.
Oh. Only 1,500 gold lead right now for DragonX, but they're the ones that are going to be scaling a lot better than DAMWON in this game. First lethality item picked up for Canyon as well, by the way, so LeBlanc now with a Fiendish Codex. We'll have to see what Showmaker wants to actually path that into.
That lethality item, I believe, is the Umbral Glaive, which has the Blackout passive. So it's good for clearing out vision, clearing out the jungle, and any wards from your enemy. It's cheaper than the other lethality items. More of a utility, whilst also giving some damage built into it.
Well,
there it was in action.
Yeah, that was
yeah, that's the Blackout passive.
All right, here we go. Mountain Dragon. This is actually, it's very, very big, but not for some reasons that people might think. It's so important for DAMWON to prevent the capture of this. They don't really need it themselves, but They need to make sure. What did Canyon just? He just ult the. What?
So it's very important, but they skipped on that. They're going to give the first one over to DragonX with no contest, really. It was only Showmaker that seemed to say, hey guys, we should probably fight over this, or maybe I can get some damage done, whilst everybody else was in the mid lane pushing.
So this is truly an alternative win con now that is granted to DragonX, because getting Mountain Soul will end the game for sure. Kennen, Kiana, and LeBlanc will not be able to penetrate a team that has Mountain Soul. They will not be able to do what they want to outside of some 4-man slicing Maelstrom into Kiana ultimate with bullet time going on. I mean, that's just not realistic, though.
Yeah, you're looking for the dream,
yeah.
Really. Maybe some kind of Kennen flank, but he's already down 2 levels. So even if he does get a flank, I feel like Dorn would just pop him like a balloon. Doesn't even have Zhonya's yet. Went for the full Morellonomicon.
Yeah.
And that will be good against the Aatrox.
Oh, and Yoshik actually went Guardian Angel.
Yep.
Second item. This is something I actually really like, especially if you're ahead of the opposing team, or if they have multiple assassins. It really ruins their day.
Oh, yeah.
Inside of team fights.
You see it a lot in solo queue, because there's a lot of assassins and damage in solo
yep.
queue. You get ahead, you get a couple of kills. You might as well just build Guardian Angel. It's not that expensive. So you just pick it up real quick, and then they're like, well, we can't attack the Jarvan. We're already behind.
Yeah.
So similar situation here in a pro game. We see Canyon now trying to set up for a play in the bottom side, but Doran's already read this. There's a ward in the brush. And that will spot Canyon. Thankfully, he's got that blackout passive. And another Dirk has been completed here for Canyon. Just building up those longswords, trying to get more lethality so you can eventually do something in this game.
Well, let's see what is going to happen in coming minutes. Because if DragonX are just content to sit back and keep playing ping pong, there's nothing that DAMWON can actually do. There's no way for them to siege a turret. There's no way for them to force DragonX to come out because there's nothing to fight over. So DAMWON also cannot just randomly start the Baron. They need quite a few kills to start a Baron. They do not have one of the best Baron taking potentials.
Yeah, and even though they have a bit of damage, they don't really have a real tank. I mean, they have Nautilus, but he's a support Nautilus and down on levels, so even if they tried to start it and turn or something, it's not realistic. They'll just be playing from behind and holding on. Makes you wonder if they're waiting for some kind of item timing to go for some kind of big fight, or maybe they just feel helpless in this moment as another Chain of Corruption is going to come down. They're using so many ultimates just to kill Beryl, and they will at the end of it all, as the 2 ultimates do come down to take out a support. But it's also a big engage tool on the side of DAMWON Gaming, who also did have to burn his flash. So they take away that engage tool. Let's see where they go from here.
I think Showmaker's building a Banshee's Veil on LeBlanc second, which is just so bizarre because what spells are you trying to block that are meaningful or that are game-changing?
I was just laughing at Canyon.
Okay.
Not at you.
It would have worked both, you know? I mean,
yeah,
it's fine. Chat laughs at me enough. I'm used to it. It's okay.
Yeah. KEKW.
Yeah. KEKW all the time.
I just dream of a chat full of KEKWs. That's all I'm asking for.
That's all I'm asking for. As we take a look at the replay, the chains come out. Tim ends up getting the Q right there, and eventually Beryl is brought down. 30 seconds until the next Mountain Dragon. We are in for a game tonight. Valdez, hello.
Yeah, it's... So this is why I was asking the question, are they waiting for some timing? Because every single time they get another Mountain Drake...
Have you noticed...
It's just...
no matter how aggressive a team composition tends to be, it's almost a guaranteed, at 15+ minutes, you don't have enough damage to siege turrets. You don't have enough damage to just arbitrarily dive them. And so we get to the lull state.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
No freezing. Only in Korea is there freezing. Outside, not here in League of Legends. Another Mountain Drake. This time it looks like DAMWON do want to fight.
They have to.
That's what I'm saying.
And they're not going to. All right, here
well, they're going to look for the steal as the burst comes in, but no, it goes the way of DragonX, and that Qiyana ult goes wide. Beryl is so dead, and a massive Cataclysm comes in.
Oh, my.
Big combo, though, from the Slicing Maelstrom and the bullet time, but it just doesn't matter. You're not doing damage against this team comp when they're this position, as Showmaker is trying desperately to pick someone off, but he doesn't do damage against Double Mountain. Not when you're this far behind. Doran just styling now. He didn't even have to do that. As DragonX, they pick up the big fight. Now they're going to pick up their free objective as Deft says, no, I'm not done killing them. He makes a double kill happen out of literally thin air. As Deft, like playing like a madman here in game number 1.
All right, well, let's take a look at this. This was actually the dream scenario, by the way. They did get it, and it still wasn't enough. So, Canyon whiffs the ult, well, uses the ult, doesn't do anything. They lose out on the Mountain Dragon. Beryl goes down immediately. Cataclysm cast onto Kennen. 4-man Slicing Maelstrom with bullet time. They just don't have enough damage, though. It doesn't matter. And then, this is what you get for picking mono red, you know? That's exactly, I love seeing red decks lose.
You run straight into double Deafening Clarion. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna forfeit now.
Well,
we got all the
magic
magic
really
beams
happy.
here.
I mean, blue is the best color. Valdez, okay? I mean, come on.
Look at Deft, though. He's like when you're playing against a control deck and they put out that legendary dragon and you're like, okay, the game's over, actually. Yeah. And that's exactly what it feels like in this game.
In game number 2, we're going to make sure, again, to call it at the draft. Okay.
Okay. So you were right about this one at the draft. You did say DragonX, although a minor lead, you were saying that they were in the lead in terms of the draft, so should be 4 of 4 now of the games that you have called. What minute do you think you were 100% sure that this game was over?
The kill on Qiyana. No. Yeah, no. When Qiyana pathed to Wraiths with 16 CS. No, that's actually really big. Because it means that she's about 2.5 minutes behind Jarvan by mid-game. And that's just too big. There's no way, I think, from that point to return to your Wolves, your Gromp, and then somehow catch up to Jarvan while also aligning with your laner's recalls. Yeah. I know that sounds really weird, but the opponents have control, not you. So it's so hard, it's such a tall ask that by that point, you know, at 10 minutes, it's going to be relatively even. If LeBlanc, Qiyana, and Kennen are relatively even, they're losing. So there's very thin lines that can be walked. And again, probably wouldn't be the case if there was a big team discrepancy.
Yeah.
But there's not.
Yeah, both these teams, top teams in Korea. It started with the draft, and it ended with the jungle pathing. And having Qiyana shut down from very early, looking for, oh, that even fooled the observer. As Nuggery is just gonna get bopped here by Pyosik. From the get-go, very, very far ahead. No contest, really, as this should be the most one-sided game we've had all night. And Pyosik just gonna die immediately. Nuclear does do a lot of damage, as he is gonna bullet time straight in the face of Deft, who just does not care and will not die in this game. He just will not have it. And that is going to be end of this one. The Nexus is going to go down 19-7 and kills 10,000 ahead. DragonX make a statement here in game number 1.